Hello and welcome to my review of The Goodies, the complete BBC collection. Today we're up to The Lost Tribe. In this episode, the Goodies are asked by a ditzy lady named Hazel to help find her father, who disappeared 20 years earlier on an expedition to find the lost tribe of the Orinoco. After a very tortuous journey, they find the professor and the tribe in Kent, where the tribe proceed to try and cook the goodies to eat them. In Robert Ross's excellent book, Goodies Rule OK, he notes that Graeme does not like this episode, he's not fond of it, and also that the audience did not laugh during the Roy Kinnear scenes when the boys find the lost tribe. And it is quite noticeable that there is not a lot of laughter during those scenes. This episode is entertaining, but it's not hilarious in the way that the Best Goodies episodes are. And I was trying to think of why, and I think it's because there's just too much narrative and not enough jokes. It's really a ripping yarn style story, and it's told with those extracts from the professor's diary that Graeme reads as a voiceover, but it does feel kind of encumbered by this complicated narrative that does get in the way of gags. That being said, there were still a few highlights in this episode for me. One of them, being a terrible chair spotting nerd, was the amazing chairs the Goodies had in their office. These stunning cowhide and chrome tubular chairs. Bill's music was another highlight once again in this episode. He's got a fabulous instrumental track earlier on in this episode. Another highlight in this episode for me was Graeme. Graeme is quite saucy in this episode. He does get a bit saucy at times, and he's certainly being quite cheeky here. I also very much enjoyed his camping inventions, the bizarre contraptions he brings into the tent, a pop-up TV and table, etc. The other great highlight for me, and this showcases Graeme's skills as an impressionist, was his impression of the celebrity chef of the day, Graham Kerr. And Graeme does a very respectable Australian-New Zealandish accent, and I understand Graham Kerr, had spent time in Australia and New Zealand, so Graeme gets away with that. I thought it was quite well done. The ads in this episode are another baked bean ad. That's been a baked bean ad in every episode this season, and they are all really good. The second ad was a bit of a surprise to me, and it was in black and white. I wonder if it was cut from earlier screenings because it is adult. And once again, we are getting into the weird area of the Goodies implying group sex in this ad that's a parody, obviously, of some existing ad. I don't know what to do with that. I guess it was the 70s. What can we say? The guest stars in this episode are the wonderful Roy Kinnear. I'm a huge fan of Roy Kinnear, and I felt a bit sad that he just seemed a bit wasted in this episode. He really only has, this one scene when they find him at the end. And as I mentioned before, they're just not getting the laughs. So it just felt like a little bit of a waste of his great talents. The other guest stars are Bridget Armstrong as his daughter, and also the distinguished Nigerian actor Olu Jacobs as the witch doctor. Once again, there are many actors of colour in this episode, but they are all really just extras with very little to do. And that is even true of Olu Jacobs. I guess these characterizations of the African tribes people are really on the level of a kind of pantomime. It's true that in the Goodies, many of the characters are on the level of a pantomime, and that's could equally be said of the professor's daughter. But I guess when there is, there are issues of race and imperialism involved, it does sit a little uneasily, and it certainly would not be acceptable to portray African people this way today. something that was implied in the Commonwealth Games episode, and again it kind of is hinted at here, is that the goodies do everything together, possibly including sex with a lady. Now, it does sort of become a little bit awkward because in this episode they all fancy Hazel very much, you know, and Bill and Graeme are both kind of coming on to her. Yeah, I don't really know what to do with this. It's certainly something I did not pick up on when I was youngster watching it. It just feels a bit awkward and I don't really know what to make of it. You know, once again, I guess it was the 70s and I'm sure there is some goodies fan fiction out there which explores this topic in a way that I don't really want to. So perhaps we'll just put that to one side for now. Overall, I felt that The Lost Tribe was not unfunny or boring. It was still entertaining, but it just had too much exposition and not enough jokes. I would say that The Lost Tribe is not one of the best episodes. It's okay, but just, you know, it's not laugh out loud funny. Next time we'll be moving on to The Music Lovers, and hopefully we'll be getting into some stronger stories in season 2 as we go along. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.